from Wizardton up to the castle where the demonic entity that is heralding Orcus's return into the mortal plane, for him to rule over and cause everyone to be undead, and he would have dominance in Dry Gulch in the form of airships that were just initially being built. Upon your arrival, you met Igaru and Igera, and they have built more than you realized, but only two are actually flight capable at the moment. Upon talking with them and trying to, charter the usage of one of these very expensive, very unique ships that can travel through the air, you also came across the information that there was a third partner of theirs, a Victor Bean, who has taken the alias Vanilla Bean Bastard, that used to work with them, that stole a ship, their first ship that they built. Upon investigating that avenue, because if you were able to return him to Dry Gulch and hold him accountable for his actions, they would fly with you at much, much, much less cost. Or at cost, I suppose, would be the right terminology, but infinitely less than it would be to just charter the ship. So you went to the harbor, located off the eastern part of this entire continent. You're all the way on the edge of the world kind of a mentality. And you were looking at some of the ships, talking to some of the people down there, and met an old friend and pseudo-ally, as Jared Thrush made himself known to the group. A somewhat of a chase and intimidation, a strong arm robbery kind of a deal. You guys were able to uncover some illicit activity that he was doing and force him into a corner to allow you to make contact with the Vanilla Bean Bastard, as he did have a connection and was chartering goods and wares, illegal goods and wares, to this Victor Bean. You guys went south down the coast, maybe a mile offshore, and he ended up parking the ship approximately 2 miles. Yes, Kyle.
I did want to check something, and I don't know if it's too late for that, but was there any way that I could ask him if there was anything that he was delivering to him that would be concerning to me or us in our plan to bring down the Vanilla Bean Bastard?
There's nothing dangerous, if that's what you're asking, other than the fact that they are drugs that are mind altering and can harm people and cause death if abused too strongly. But other than that, it was just goods, wares, supplies, just general odds and ends, and then illegal substances that you figure he was trafficking through his whatever operation he has going on. But he stopped and land docked the ship at about the 2 mile mark to where the supposed abode of Vanilla was, and you guys struck up a deal that Jared Thrush can take the goods forward, drop them off, and hopefully never see you again, with the understanding that he was not going to rat you out. And he was more or less believable. He took his leave, and you can see the ship just kind of coast off into the distance and over the horizon of the ocean, off into the distance, and you guys wait and however long you want to wait before you start the trek southward.
I'd say, honestly, given our speed, I'd say we could probably start walking after he set sail. He'll get there and leave before we even get there.
I mean, you figure as accomplished and hardy adventurers, an 8-minute mile is not something that you're incapable of. If you want to take a slow walk intentionally, to do like 20-minute miles just as a careful approach, just to make sure there's nothing around you guys, that you're not being watched, If you wanted to do like a stealth approach, I can have you guys all roll stealth.
Yeah, I think doing that, keeping an eye so that like we could get there just at the right time where Thrush is leaving.
Pulling away.
Yeah.
Okay. Because you figure he has to unload all the supplies. He's got his weird little fish people that he employs that would help take all the crates off and whatnot, whatever transaction they have.
Ew. Jared asked that we not
disturb him, right?
well that we not make it look like he's involved with this at all. And technically speaking, he's not. Ish. So maybe we should hold off and then go so that we're not arriving right as he's leaving. I think that might look a little suspicious.
It's early evening at the moment. If you guys wanted to just hunker down and take like a long rest, you could camp out somewhere if you have the capabilities of doing that, or just sleeping on the beach itself.
Yeah, I don't like that idea.
Yeah.
Well,
I say we could take why don't we take a long way around, go a little bit inland so that when Thrush leaves, we're coming from the opposite direction.
So you want to go around this wherever he's supposedly at and maybe try to come in from the south?
Yeah, kind of like flank him out, basically. Flank out the space. Not even from the south, but like just kind of like come from.
So let me explain what
we're
you're
on the
looking at.
east coast, right?
Let me
So
explain.
we just
Yeah.
and we're coming down from the north, so we just kind of want to come out so that we're coming in from the west.
Let me explain what you're looking at. So if you look southward, it's a large beach, 100, 200 feet of sand before grass and rocks start to kind of form. As you look southward, the grass and rocks start to incline. And as you look into the distance, it looks like it continues up, leaving the beach kind of at the bottom of this cliff. This is not like a tourist location where it's just a nice beach and a smooth incline all the way into land. It looks like it turns into a cliffside ocean kind of deal.
Gotcha.
But there's still enough beach for you. As you look at it, a common person can look around and say, as dangerous as this might be, no one will find you here. As you look up at this incline, it goes pretty high up. If you look straight ahead, again, there's about, give or take 100 feet of sand before the rock wall and the ocean.
All right. Well, then I say, yeah, I guess we could give him a little bit, but us showing up after Thrush leaves is going to give some kind of.
Who was that?
That was me.
I honestly thought you.
All right, sorry, keep going.
But I think that it's stinky.
It's good. It's over there.
It's a sinus infection.
Yeah.
I know, right? Yeah, that tells you how strong it is. But I think us showing up after Jared Thrush leaves, regardless, is gonna. If he's of any sound of mind, he's gonna figure something out. At the very least, maybe we could just convince him that we followed, like we tracked Jared Thrush here without his knowledge. But honestly, I don't care what he thinks, because we're here to capture him alive.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Banjo intact.
Dead or alive, but Banjo intact. I thought.
you said it's dusk, or it's
No, it's early evening. It's like 4:30, 5 o'clock in the evening.
still sun out.
Yeah, the sun is on its descent. It's at a
Well, I
45-degree
say we-
angle.
I say we at least get eyes on his house, and then we can kind of hunker down and wait for an opportune moment.
Would Hadvar? Would you like to scout it out?
Well, yeah, we could. I say we head in and get within view of it. Then we can send Atari or Sega. Which
Atari.
Atari and Kit.
Sega.
I have another one that's named Sega in another game. All right, so yeah, we can send Atari in, and your
Kit.
Kit.
Mr. Harrington.
Kit Harington.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah, Kit Harrington. Is he a raven? That's funny.
No,
Crow.
he's an owl. I don't know if they have the same stats as a raven. I didn't even think about it.
They're all different. They all got a little different thing. Anyway, yeah, I say we go in, get eyes on them, and then we can send our birds of prey in and check it out.
Because Cadvar, I could turn you into a seagull, and you could go with them.
I've been turned into one too many non-orc things over the last couple of weeks, and I think I'd like to stay me for the time being. That's okay.
I'm looking at Barrow. We'll continue.
So you guys want to approach relatively stealthily, yes?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, go ahead and roll stealth checks.
Wow. I'm starting the night off primo.
Oh no.
And
Well-
wait, how far away are we? Like, how soon do we think that we're going to get there?
We're 2 miles away.
Yeah, it's 2 miles. However fast you want to move.
Right, but are we slow playing that? The reason that I'm
Yeah.
asking is because I have Pass Without Trace. And so I want to do that when we're making our, like, final approach type of deal. But if that's going to be within an hour, then I'll do it now. If it's not,
What?
then I'll wait.
Goodbye. I would say that if you wanted to cast that, I will implement it with your roll so that Barrow would know when to actually cast it to make sure it was
Okay,
during
so
the time.
like one roll for the whole thing.
With the plus 10 if you want to use that spell slot. Yeah.
Yes, I'm going to do that.
Yeah, Jim.
So that's a second level.
Sorry, I had to kill a spider. 2 spiders. 2 for 1.
So add 10 to whatever you roll for stealth.
Cool. 11.
Oh, you got a 1. Hi, Kaz.
Hi, Cass.
Spider's gone.
Now they are.
Okay, good.
So
So you got a nat 1.
My hero.
Hadvar.
Yeah, Hadvar got a natural 1 with a modifier of 0. So,
So
Pass Without Trace
So
is
1.
It's a 1. 32.
Oh, okay.
31 for Barrow. And 25 for Scythe.
Out of the 4 of you, Hadvar, even though you are having a really hard time in the sand actually navigating, you're still trying to actually get used to the belt of strength. And a lot of times because you need to use more muscle in the sand to actually like navigate, you're pushing your feet down in your armor a lot harder than you would like. And you're kicking up dunes of sand. Just like every time you would push your foot into the ground, it goes, there's like a small, I don't want to say an explosion, but there's like a of sand every time you're like trying to kick forward. And as you approach Titan,
toddler in a sandbox.
yeah, Scythe actually kind of walks up to you, and you see him like look up, and he kind of like pushes his body against you a couple times and looks up. You can kind of like rest your hand on
Oh,
Hadvar. You rest your hand on Titan. He's kind of giving you a little more stability as you're walking with your shield out and stuff, and it's a little easier with him to move. You guys are walking on the beach, or are you going on the incline?
I mean, here's the thing. If we don't care if this implies that Jared was working with us or gave us information or whatever.
We may need him for travel, I feel.
Now, that said, there's a higher likelihood probably that there are traps in the easier route to get there. And if we take the more difficult way, there may be less in the way of traps.
we can't really judge the difficulty because we don't know where this guy is even staying. We don't even know if he's going to be on high ground or low ground. I'd say we stay on the beach. 'Cause if Jared Thrush is making a delivery to this guy, I doubt he's going to go very far from his ship to do so.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Okay, yeah, let's do that.
I think we should send our birds in to watch the delivery.
Boyds, send in the Boyds.
Yep, you can do that. Okay, so
Yep.
as you guys are making your way relatively carefully, Kit and Atari go out. If you guys can make perception checks.
Shit. All right, hold on. I need to re-roll that because I don't know if that was an 11 or a 20 because I got my dice mixed up. I rolled into my pile of d20s.
Oh,
I'm hoping Atari gets better. 'Cause
Atari did not.
he rolls with advantage on sight.
He
Okay.
does. Yeah.
Okay.
So
I have a 2 and a 6.
I have a 3 and a 7. So yes, I did do better.
All right.
You got it.
So the
Plus
birds
3, I
go.
believe.
The birds go in, and the owls are able to see not a common sight on a beach setting, but the owls are flying not too close together. Every once in a while, they'll have a seagull squawk by them, but as they go in, 100 feet, 500 feet, 1,000 feet, they keep flying, they keep flying, they keep flying. Once they traverse the 2 miles, the beach actually narrows at a point where they finally see Jared Thrush's little barge, and the cliff that is slowly inclining reaches approximately 150 feet. But just at the base where the barge is parked, you can see a little bit of land just between the water and the sand where all of the little fish people are carrying the boxes and crates and foodstuffs into a sizable house that is sitting right off of the shore against this cliff.
Perfect.
But that's all they see.
Like up against the cliff. Like it's built into
It's
the
hard.
cliff.
It's hard for them to actually see if it's like built into the rock. It's close enough that it's not like a large patch of sand for people to be able to walk past it. It's close enough that it's away from the water so that it doesn't get a flood in his house because he's literally right next to the water.
All right.
And the birds return.
All right. So we could safely say that he's already started unpacking. We can make our way, try to hug the cliff to avoid.
I lie. There was space between the house and the cliff. I apologize. Not a lot, but there is space.
Okay. I say we just try to hug the cliff and make our way in there, like swimwear.
How much space is there between it and the cliff?
It was too hard for them to see. They didn't roll high enough.
Yeah, they were pretty distracted.
Okay. All right. Well then, yeah, I agree. Let's try to get between the house and the cliff.
Okay, so you guys are traversing the beach. I'll say that you guys, with your stealth rolls and moving slowly for 2 hours, take about an hour and a half, close to 2 hours to carefully, just kind of against the incline, make your way in the shadow of the cliff because the sun is setting on the other side. Now you're in the shade and it's much darker. You guys are making your way forward and you're able to see his house on the horizon. It looks like a fairly well-made house. It has a peaked roof. It sits more horizontal than it does vertically. And based on where you are, you can see there's bits of rock coming out of the sand. It's not just a smooth beach. It's with it being so close to the cliff and the rock formations, there are large boulders that may have fallen off from the cliff or have just naturally grown, or maybe the sand has deteriorated away from exposing these rock formations, interspersed with a lot of the sand on the beach. But as you were moving forward, the beach did narrow to half the distance to the water from where it was, where you were dropped off maybe 100 to 200 feet. Now it's getting a lot slimmer, where it's about maybe 50 to 30 feet in some places from the water. It is high tide at this point, so the water is not going to push in any further than it is now. But you guys do have visual sight on the house, which would put it at about 500 feet from you at the moment.
Is Jared still there?
No, the boat is gone. You can see a small pillar of smoke coming out of the house. Fireplace, maybe a chimney of some kind. It looks nice. It looks like a nice home.
Does it look like anyone's on the cliffs looking down? Like any security?
Give me a perception check.
Um, 13.
Looking up, again, the cliff is about 150 to 200 feet tall. You look up, it doesn't seem like there's anyone peering over. It doesn't look like there's anything unnatural in this area. It's just a house on this beach. You do see some seagulls, again, like I said, squawking around. A lot of them kind of congregate near his house, but that's natural for seagulls to do. It's probably, they're scavengers. If he is the only thing out here, they may be able to get his trash, and if he throws food away, they'll take whatever scraps come out from it.
Neat.
Guys, and I'm saying this in a whisper.
Again, you're like 500 feet away from the house, but
Okay. Low voice then. So maybe this is just what happened in Craghammer rubbing off on me, or I don't know what, but have we ever considered that maybe there's more to this story here, and that this Vanilla Bean bastard may be doing these things for a reason other than being a bastard? Like maybe he chose this moniker, but that's because people made him into that?
We can't really blame other people for the actions that we decide to take because of other people.
Right, but I'm saying, like, why would this guy spend all of this money investing in something with the twins to then try and steal it and then come back to steal more stuff? I don't know. Maybe
that sounds like
saying,
a pretty typical criminal to me.
maybe, I don't know. Craghammer really screwed with me a little bit, I think, and I just...
Yeah, me too, as I rub my sword wound.
I'm really sorry.
I just, I don't know.
Listen, we can think about it later. We're not going to kill him unless he forces us to. Let's just go in there, get what we need to get, and get to Orchid. Because honestly, I could care less about what these people do to this man. Our main goal is to get these flagships, get our people up to that castle, and take care of this larger threat.
Do you think that
Yeah.
we should do a stakeout for a day just to see who's coming in, who's coming out, see if there's any...
I think the more time that we spend out here, the more likely it is that somebody's going to find out that we're here.
what is everyone's passive perception? Just so that I have that.
15.
14.
17.
Okay, thank you.
And Scythe is 15.
Continue.
Yeah, no, I think we should I think we should strike
While the iron is hot.
now or soon, because it's possible that this guy could slip out and we wouldn't notice him.
He might not
It's
even be there
possible.
now.
This is true, but
Well, that's perfect. If he's not there, we can set it up so that when he does show up, we catch him by surprise. Either way, I'm gonna get my staff out and my shield out. It's like, I'm making this happen.
I really miss the zone of truth thing. Feel like that would have come in handy.
So Hadvar starts marching his way forward along the cliffside. Do you guys follow him?
Yes.
As you approach, the house becomes a little more clear. You guys, I'm still taking your stealth checks into consideration.
So,
You can see this greenery on almost every support post in the structure of his house. That there's these large, long green leaves that are about this big, and they're about that thick. So they're much thicker than the average leaf. They're on vines, and you can see little pods coming out of a lot of where the leaves are, all along each of the posts. There's maybe about, for each of these flowers, we'll call them 10 to 20 on each of these posts. And as you get closer, you can actually smell this waft of sweet vanilla coming off the breeze.
Do I know these plants?
Roll a nature check.
Am I able to do that as well?
Yeah. If everybody wants to get in on that, you can do that.
That's a 21. 21.
21. What's 9 plus 10?
21.
Stupid. What was it?
11.
Okay.
8.
They don't look familiar to you guys. The smell obviously catches you, as you know, a lot of things are flavored with vanilla. Hadvar, you know these are actually vanilla pods. These are vanilla beans. These are unnaturally growing from the sand and wrapping around his house.
Does
you
the
know,
size
based-
of them throw me off, or?
Nope, the size is accurate. That's what a vanilla plant looks
Okay.
like.
Okay.
Hadvar, are these poisonous?
Yes, you should not touch them.
No. So you also know that vanilla has to be grown in much more tropical climates, right off the ocean, as at least on this coast, on this part of the eastern continent, does not have that climate. So you know, based on your nature check, that this is a very unnatural site for the vanilla plant to be able to grow out of sand around a unnatural structure and in such quantities.
This is odd. Keep on the lookout for anything mystical. These things shouldn't be growing here.
Well, if we have a couple minutes, I can try to cast Detect Magic, but it's going to be a little bit.
I don't think we have a little bit. We're too close and you might be too loud. So let's...
You guys start making your way forward, and as you come up to the approach of this house, it's becoming more clear. You can hear music. You can hear a banjo coming from inside the house. Someone just plucking away, playing a soft melody. You can hear a soft hum underneath it. You're about 80 feet away from this house. Pharaoh, Scythe, and Hadvar. What becomes immediately apparent, because you are being careful, Amora, your perception is not high enough, but they stop you before you continue on.
Bean.
Your foot goes into the sand and passes through it maybe an inch and a half without leaving any mark. There's a very obvious illusion on the beach itself, 80 feet from the house. The texture doesn't change at all, but it looks like regular beach in front of you, and it feels like regular beach, but you can tell about an inch and a half there is an illusion covering covering the terrain.
I'm gonna get down and put my hand through the terrain, through the illusion.
Your hand disappears into the sand, and as you pull up, you can feel the sand through your fingers. It feels natural sand. It's just there's this fake image over top of the sand. And you're at like the 80-foot mark. And also, now that you're close enough, you can see about a 10 to 20-foot gap that his house has from the cliffside. So now it's noticeable that it is not connected to the cliff.
So there's an illusion of sand, but still sand beneath the illusion.
Correct.
And how much further down is the sand from the illusion?
Like an inch and a half. Like as soon as you put your hand through it, you can still see like the top of your glove armors. Your like, or if you have any armor on the back of your hands or the forearm. If you put your hand solidly on the ground, you can see like the top half of your arm.
So it could be my guess that he may be trying to hide like traps underneath this illusion.
Either that or, I mean, I don't really know how magic works. You guys are going to know better than me, but is it possible that this is some sort of alarm magic that we may have just tripped?
Well, there's nothing that would give me the idea that he's been alerted, but we should check carefully.
The house itself has a very normal door on the front. Whole thing's constructed out of wood. Again, they have the peaked ceiling that comes to like the pyramid top. And there is 2 windows on the side that faces you that are shuttered closed. And there is a window that faces the ocean that is open. And that's where you surmise you can hear the banjo being played from inside.
So, is it just the ground is an illusion, or it's the whole thing in front of us is an illusion?
Can I make a check on that? Like an investigation, I guess.
As you put your hand forward, right where that break is in the sand, your hand is fine. There's nothing unnatural in front of you. You can see your arms as you're doing this. You can like dip your face in and come back out. It doesn't feel any different. It's just the ground.
All right. So this is what we're going to do. This is what I'm going to do. Because Hadvar is becoming more and more... I don't know the word. But anyway, this is what I think he's going to do. He's going to take his staff. He's going to poke the ground with it.
How far in do you go to do this?
I'll grab the...
Like right at the edge where you guys are all standing where you know it's
I'll
safe?
stand there and I'll whatever furthest I can reach, I'll just kind of like poke around the ground in front of me.
5
I'd say,
feet.
what, 5 feet? Yeah.
And you dip your hand or the staff 5 feet in front of you. It goes past the
And you know what? Let's use
illusion.
my long sword, not my staff. I don't want to use my staff for this.
Pull your long sword out and you put the tip beneath the illusion. And also you do like a big half circle
Yeah.
in a 5-foot arc. Nothing. You bring your sword up. You can see the sand kind of spilling off the tip of the sword. As you lift it up, it courses down the blade down onto your hand, and you turn it off. You shake the sand off, and nothing happens.
All right, I'm gonna put my hand on myself. I'm gonna turn myself into a seagull.
Okay. So you cast polymorph.
Yes. And so I like back up while they're like,
Cast detect magic.
but I'm gonna just kind of like. Well, you said there was no time, so literally I'm going.
Right.
up.
So okay. So you turn into a seagull and you do what now?
I'm gonna just like try to mimic the other ones and just go through it. Like,
So, but I'll say this much: before you do that, there are no seagulls on the ground. They're up near the cliff's edge, and they just kind of they'll circle into the ocean and back, but none of them are actually even close to the house.
Okay, I'm still gonna just kind of like.
They know what's up.
How far in do you go?
I'm gonna go past it.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna go
So
through.
you see her seagull form fly and goes past that mark. Again, you're at the 80-foot mark. So how much further do you want to go in?
You're saying that's like right. I want to go in enough. If I can go in just a couple feet, just to go in.
Yep.
To see
Your webbed feet go out of view past the fake sand. And as you like flap your wings and stuff, you kick sand up. You don't see the sand move around you. There's no footprints. But as you flap your wings, the sand kind of like kicks up over the illusion and falls beneath it again.
Okay, so then.
It's almost like there's this veil, like someone
Yeah.
covered the whole beach with a sheet that you can put your hand through, and it looks like the beach.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna switch back to my
Staff.
and I'm just gonna tap the place where I'm gonna step, and then step.
You move in 5 feet and nothing happens.
I'm gonna keep doing that very slowly and quietly.
Okay, and you're gonna try to make your way to the house, I would assume.
Yeah.
Okay.
Slowly.
And are the two of you following his direct path? Are you going off any other directions? Are you going to wait and see what happens?
I was gonna fly up and around to see if the house is like if I get close enough, if I actually fly up and towards the house, is the house an illusion? Can I get
Okay.
towards the window?
Noted. Barrow, what are you and Syph doing?
I see your book.
I guess probably following in his wake.
Single file,
Yeah.
Like- snaking through. Hadvar, go ahead and roll me a percentage dice, please.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
So as you're moving forward and tapping, the impact that your staff is making you don't have any visual of what you're even hitting.
Yeah.
It's just going through that illusion and you're just tapping. It feels like sand. Every once in a while you'll hit something hard and you'll stop. And you like nudge it again and it's just like, okay, I think that's just a rock. And you're moving through.
I got an 81.
81. Stand by. As you are moving forward and you tap, you feel one rock and you say, okay, not bad. You're only about 10 feet in. You tap something on the 15-foot mark, and there's an extremely loud explosion, and sand erupts in front of you, and shrapnel hits the side of your face. You take 18 piercing damage as a contained explosion goes off, and you can see the sand explode upward. Barrow and Syph, I'm going to say you weren't close enough to him yet to have gotten any damage, but it was extremely loud, and you can feel like small bits of metal embedded into the side of your face, and you can see blood coming down, a few pieces all over his arms. You know, it covered most of your body, but it was the force and the shrapnel cutting into your skin after that.
Well, shit.
Well, he knows that we're here now.
You got 65 more feet.
I'm gonna yell out, "Help! Help!"
Okay, you call out and you wait to see if anything changes. The banjo stops. And Hadvar, you're just doing your best to just stand as still as possible. It almost knocked you prone, but you were able to maintain yourself, and you just stand there. Bum bum ba-dum bum bum.
I'm going
ba-dum bum. The banjo just starts up again.
I'm going. Ooh, it's an illusion? Shit.
Amora, at this point in time, when you have that explosion go off, it distracts you a little bit. But you, as a seagull, try to find safety and perch on top of the house.
Can I see into the window? I'm too far back.
Well, you're on the roof. If you want to fly to the window, you can do that.
Hey, question.
Like,
Last time, did we establish the precedent for my hawk jump?
Like, what do you mean?
The me using my strength to jump really far. I can't remember what we decided.
It's in the player's handbook. I think it's 20 feet.
I'm trying to find the stats for a
what?
seagull.
It should be 20 feet. I don't think there's a stat for a seagull specifically. I would probably just use
There's a seagull, but it doesn't seem. I don't know if that's actually a D&D thing or it's a homebrew.
We can say a broad jump for Hadvar can be 15 feet at a time, just standing there and just going F and just jumping.
So long jump. When you make a long jump, you cover a number of feet up to your strength score if you move at least 10 feet on foot immediately before the jump.
Which you wouldn't be. This is just a broad jump. So instead of being able to move 29 feet, I'm just taking some off, but we'll say 20 feet. That let's just keep it at 15 because you're not getting a running start. You're stopped and you're just gonna, unless you want to run and jump, you can do that.
Yeah. I'm gonna take a step back
Mhm.
and then jump from the point where the thing exploded. So 5 feet back where I know it was safe.
Yeah.
And then
I'm just trying to figure out if you would be able to see, because you can't see anything.
well, wherever my staff
Your
hit.
staff was, you kind of like keep your eye on whatever part of that illusion was, and then you take a running jump and you move 30 feet.
Yeah.
Okay, so that would be 45 total, which puts you just after halfway. Give me another percentage roll.
That's gonna be 57.
And give me another percentage roll, please.
53.
Okay, so Hadvar, you're like, well, this isn't going well. So you back up and just try to cover as much distance as quickly as possible, and you do a running jump. You land directly on one of these mines, and as you go to jump again, it puts you off kilter, and you land on top of another mine that gets you in the back. You take 30 more points of piercing damage.
Fuck.
But you are 45 feet in of the 80 feet to this house.
Fuck.
Meanwhile, you just hear the bum bum ba-dum bum 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 ba-dum ba-dum bum bum ba-dum bum inside, plucking away.
A cantrip when I'm doing a concentration spell.
Amora,
As long
as you fly, if you want to pass the window, just real quick, just to take a quick peek, you can do that.
Okay. I did find albatross.
Sure, we'll go with that.
'Cause
I'm an albatross.
small bird.
Yep, just use those stats. That's fine.
kind of a big bird. But
I mean,
Yeah.
that thing.
I'm not worried. I was just gonna give her a +2 to whatever she was rolling if it was like.
And that's what unnatural.
What are you doing?
Just looking to see if he's in there. Just seeing if there's one person at, like flying past the window and seeing if there's one person, if there's two people.
Okay, so you get off the roof and you know you need to look inside. You're able to hover there, and with a natural 20, you can see.
Unnatural 20.
Oh, well, that's fine. Still,
Okay.
with a 20, you're able to see straight in through this window. It's like a 40-foot space. This house is, relatively big. Like I said, it's more rectangular than it is high. It's a 1-floor space. You can see a fireplace all the way in the back left. You can see 2 bookcases on the far wall. You can see the door on the right-hand side, and you can see just inside the window the corner of a bedpost, which looks like the bed is right next to. And you can hear the music coming from the southern side of the house. So if you're looking in the window from the ocean into the house, it's on the left. So if you were to walk into the front door, which you guys are all moving towards, it would be in the back left of this house. Let me give you a better visual. Why don't I do that?
I know what I'm gonna do next, though. Whenever you're ready.
Very good. Hadvar, you are prone, FYI.
Never mind. I don't know what I'm gonna do next.
It's okay.
I guess I'm gonna use half my movement to stand up.
All right, this is what we're looking at. So this is the house. And Amora, you're looking in the window. And in this back corner, this back left corner of the house, that's where you hear the music coming from. Advar, that's you laying there. Again, the house
Yay.
is right over there, so you're almost there. And Barrow and Scythe, you're all the way back there where Hadvar entered. But that's what we're looking at the moment. Good?
All right.
Yeah.
Well, at this point, I'm very, very, very upset. I'm gonna stand up and starting 10 feet out from me, I'm just gonna start pitching firebolts at the ground.
Fireball?
Bolts. I'm blowing everything up.
You're just from 10 feet out, you're just going thoom, 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 thoom every 6 seconds. Or whatever the arcane words are, just over and over and over again. Just slamming them down.
Yeah.
Give me. Well, if you're gonna do it like in an arc in 10 feet, like just a 10-foot radius.
Yeah.
Give me 3 more percentage rolls.
81.
Okay.
Wait. What if you get a 0 on one? On the single one?
On the single one, that means it would be like 50. What did you roll? What are the two that you
A
rolled?
40 and a 0.
So it's 40.
Okay. Very well. 40 and 90.
Out of we'll say you cast like 10, you actually hit 5. You actually hit 6 mines that go off in an arc around you. You can see now, because as you cast it, it goes past the illusion into the sand, and you can see like a kick up of sand behind where the firebolt hits. Out of the 10 that you cast, 6 of them hit mines that are in front of you in an arc, coming up to the door. But based on the small congregation of where you were able to clear a couple of them that were together, you can look at that spot in the illusion and safely jump 10 feet forward.
Then I will do that. Then can I man, this is rough.
You're 25 feet from the house. So if you feel safe enough to do a running jump, you could make it to like the front door.
Could I pull one of my greater potions out and
Absolutely.
kind of do them just like chug and like.
Sure. So greater is 44 plus 4.
All right.
How's Barrow and Scythe looking?
I got nothing. I'm just I'm watching this go down and keeping an eye on where he's been traveling so that I have an idea path-wise.
He made a 30-foot jump, so there's a big gap. And then you're seeing where he's going, and it's a little hard to keep track of because there's nothing to track. There's nothing there. But as you traverse through, I can allow you to do like intelligence rolls to be like, okay, I know it was here-ish, and then maybe avoid doing a percentage roll.
Yeah, sorry, I don't really have anything like breadcrumbs to leave for you.
Right, but I was watching him walk.
He jumped 30 feet.
But I mean, past that 30 feet,
He hasn't gotten anywhere else yet. He did another 10-foot jump.
Can I take a bag of my ball bearings out?
Certainly.
And I want to grab a handful and just as hard as I can
Now, Hadvar is in
throw
front of
them
you.
out in between Hadvar and me.
Can I go ahead and put my shield up behind me, like in the direction, like
Yeah.
ah,
Barrow, go ahead and make a strength check.
Okay.
Now, a bag of ball, well, we'll say a halfling's hand can hold maybe,
There's 1,000 in there. I know
we'll say you can hold 40 of them at a time.
that.
I think that's fair for, smaller, chunky hands. He's a stout halfling.
Just straight strength.
Yep.
11.
You see two explosions from your toss, and you tried to throw them in a line between you and Hadvar where that clearing was, and you clear two of the mines that are about 20 feet from each other in a relatively straight path between you and Hadvar.
Okay. I'm just going to use the rest of the bag and just keep doing that.
Give me. We can say you can do, because I had him do 3%. You can just do 3 general strength checks, or you can just do 1 with advantage and see what happens. And I'll just narrate what happens with all 1,000 ball bearings based on one of those 2.
Man, I had a spell for this that I could have used.
I'm going to do advantage.
Okay.
That was Kai.
No, it was definitely leading.
Okay. 18.
With a little more assurance and a little more, okay, this is going to work. You start hucking these a little harder and more directly, and you're able to clear out 13 mines between you and Hadvar. But now you are down 1 bag of ball bearings.
13 between Hadvar and me?
Yeah, that's 45 feet. 55 feet, excuse me.
Holy sh...
But you were able to clear them all, and you were accurate enough because your dex is high enough. I wasn't going to make you roll for that. That these 13, you figure if someone's, because you're fairly tactically sound, Barrow. You were hunting a lot of times, tracking a lot of times, setting traps yourselves a lot of times with Scythe. You would know that these are not just mines that are going to be set in a grid pattern and just laid forward. They're probably random. So I would feel that Barrow should be fairly comfortable knowing that he cleared most of, if not all of, the mines in between him and Hadvar.
Okay.
In metagame terms, your DC dropped insanely lower, but you will still have to roll a percentage die.
Okay.
But you almost cleared your DC to where it was, down to a much more considerable level.
More importantly, is the banjo still going?
He actually started playing with the explosions at times. He would wait for the explosion. Boom, ding, doodle, 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 boom, ding, diddle, 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 diddle. Boom, boom. He's almost having fun with it.
I'm gonna land on the windowsill.
On the windowsill, you try and go into the window. You take 1 point of damage as you bludgeon yourself against an invisible force against that window. It seems like there's some arcane energy there. How many hit points does the albatross have? Hopefully more than 1.
Well, I might have to roll for it.
Whatever the average says it is. Whatever like the base albatross What you doing, Hadvar? While we're getting that.
Well, I'm at the front door.
Phew.
The
Shoot, all
door's
right, you have
closed.
1 hit point left.
Oh, and I'm gonna have to roll concentration, aren't I?
Yes,
Nat 20.
you're good.
So is the door closed?
So wait, you did another running jump to the door?
Yeah, I thought we said that. I was gonna drink and jump.
You did. I'm sorry. Roll 1 more percentage, please.
Yay.
Because you have to take a running jump. You take 2 steps back and then do another running jump.
90 plus. 90 plus.
13.
Oh, that is the exact opposite direction.
As you take your steps back, you're looking back just out of habit to like be careful of your footing, and you're like, I can't see anything. And as you run forward, you didn't run forward in a straight enough line. And as you jump, you trip one with your front foot and you take 3 points of piercing damage as it gets the back of your neck as you jump forward and land right next to the house.
So Anthony, I am to assume that when I landed on the roof of the house, there was no damage on the roof, but when I tried to touch the window or either
As you tried to fly onto the windowsill where it looks like there is a space for you to sit and perch on, there is an arcane force that prevented your movement forward, causing 1 point of damage.
okay, so it's not like there's a bubble on the house. It's
No,
in the okay.
almost like there's a bubble inside the house.
Okay.
Or
Alright.
a box or whatever shape you want it to be. It's it's on the inside of the house.
All right. So I'm gonna fly onto Barrow's shoulder.
Okay, so you're all the way back 80 feet from the house.
Get the fuck out of here, Barrett.
And I'm
So it's
gonna
like flapping its wings on your head.
I'm gonna cast message and be like, it's me, it's me, it's me.
Cannot do that.
No. Oh, I thought I could.
Nope.
Not unless you're a level 18 druid.
Remember, we had this whole conversation with Kayla when she was in the eagle form.
Now, as a druid, if you cast a concentration spell and then wild shape, you can maintain concentration, but you cannot cast from your wild shape until, like Kyle said, level 18.
Gotcha.
Which is absurd.
Yeah, you're invincible at level 20, but that's another story.
I'm a fire elemental that can just fucking cast fireball.
Infinite wild shape means infinite health points. I don't care who you are.
Yeah, no.
It's ridiculous. Anyways,
Get one shot. Yeah, but anyway, yes. I would. Is the door open or closed in front of me?
would you like to try it? It's closed. Would you like to see if it's unlocked?
No. Actually, I just want to kick it in, and as I kick it in, I'm gonna say, "Welcome to the rice fields, motherfuckers."
All right. Are you gonna wait for your compatriots, or you're just like, I'm in it right now. I made it to the house. I'm going in.
I think at this point I should wait for them, but Hadvar is so pissed off with all this shrapnel on his face.
Yeah.
So
We'll see. You just jump to the house. Amora, you set on Barrow's, or you're hovering around Barrow. Barrow? Is there anything that you would like to do at this point?
The barrel of my rifle, the bore,
Yep.
most specifically.
Okay.
How big around is that diameter? Like, would I be able to fit a python in there relatively easily without it, like, getting stuck?
The pythons that I've always pictured in D&D are like railroad spikes, pretty big. That's how I've always envisioned them, because that's kind of like what the pictures are in the books. And I would say you'd be able to only get maybe a quarter of the python into the barrel, because the barrel it's almost like universal remote. It's like a shotgun. It's a fairly large hole, because it shoots out a condensed stream of arcane force energy in ball stream bolt force.
Okay, I want to try something. You let me know if I'm able to do this.
Okay.
So I've got my 95 feet of rope. I want to tie the rope around the big end of the python.
Yep.
And I want to tie the other end off on my belt, because
Okay.
I'm less than 80 feet away, right?
You have not told me that you've moved forward at all. If you want to move 10 feet
Okay.
in where you know it's safe,
Regardless, I'm 80 feet. I'm 80 feet away from the house, and I've
Yes.
got 95 feet of rope. Okay,
Correct.
so I want to tie the rope onto the pipe and tie the other end onto my belt. I'm gonna stick the spike end in there until it just barely touches, and then I'm gonna take my rifle and I'm gonna fire it so that it's shooting at the side of the house, 5 feet from where Hadvar is.
roll an attack.
Okay.
I love your seagull impression. It's
Pretty spot on.
It's not gonna help you.
Nat 20.
Cool. It incinerates the python. No, I'm just kidding.
destroyed.
Hey, it's a force weapon.
I mean, I guess I could have done that, but no, we're not. I'm not going to do that to you because this is a cool idea. I like it. So you fire. Hadvar is like, you see him pissed. He gets off. He's like brushing sand all off of him. He's picking out pieces of metal and flicking it at the house. Tink, 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 boom! As this python just rockets into the wood of the house, you have a line tethered to it. You know what? Just because I think it's funnier and you rolled a natural 20, it goes through, and as you pull it, it kind of locks on the other side of the house. So it goes through the house and you're able to, like almost like a grappling hook shooting through something and catching on the other side.
Okay.
So you have that now. Hadvar, it's like this far away from you. You look back and you see Barrow with his rifle.
All right, so I'm gonna sheath it, and I'm gonna grab it, and I'm gonna go.
I'm just gonna.
Against the, yeah, against the. Oh, so you're like sweeping it and pulling it. Give me another strength check, just because it's 80 feet of rope that you're manipulating.
11.
You flop it down and switch it and pull it and tug it, and nothing happens between you and the house.
I'm gonna look over, and I'm gonna kind of like do this really cool, like that's cool. I'm just gonna like put my arm around it, and I'm just gonna be like, hold on tight.
Barrow?
So I'm gonna grab onto it,
Poor sight.
and I'm just gonna prepare myself.
My body is ready.
And now I'm gonna do this where I'm going to pull him. I'm gonna try to just pull him directly to me, and try to catch him at the same.
You want to like airborne him the whole way 80 feet? Okay. Roll a strength. Both of you roll a strength check. Hadvar to see how far you can get him in the air. Barrow so your arms don't rip off.
15.
23
Better than I was rolling.
So Hadvar kind of
or 28. Sorry, 28.
okay. Hadvar kind of like puts it around his forearm and grabs the other one and just and yanks you forward. Barrow, you have your heels on the ground. You're like in the squatted position, and you're like, all right, I can do this. I can do this. I can do this. I can do this. And you look over at Scythe and you go, oh, wow! As you are propelled forward, you make it about 50 feet in the air before your feet finally touch. And Hadvar, you're just pulling like a madman. You skid maybe about 30 feet in the sand. Roll 1 percentage check, Barrow.
So I'm like, jump, jump.
That is
Four.
a 4.
You
It's 2 zeros and a 4.
Oh, yeah, it is 4.
Ugh.
So as you're skidding forward, your heel does catch what felt like a rock, and it was a mine, and it explodes and pushes you off kilter. Hadvar, with your strength, you're still able to pull him close and safely the rest of the way. You take 9 points of piercing damage. And Scythe is still kind of like looking at everybody from the 80 feet mark.
So I'm at the door now.
You're against the house. Yeah, you guys are like stacked up on the door at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going with the rice fields.
Amora, are you gonna?
I'm like gonna look at Scythe.
Okay. And you fly the distance over and perch on Hadvar's shoulder, we'll say. And Hadvar, you don't need to roll a strength check because this happens to be.
Wait.
Taking the rope off. You don't need to roll a strength check because this is, in fact, just a regular wooden door and it does not happen to be trapped. As you kick the door as hard as you can, it flies off its hinges inward as it falls into the house and almost props itself on the back wall, which is 20 feet distance. As you funnel in quickly, you can take in your surroundings. You see what I explained to Amora. As you walk in to the right, against the far wall is 2 bookshelves and a desk. There's a fireplace in the wall in front of you off to the right. And in the back left corner, you see a bed, and next to the bed is the Vanilla Bean bastard with his foot propped up on the bed in a wooden chair, plucking away at his banjo, which he promptly stops as you kick the door in, and he just sits there. You see like this nice elaborate rug underneath his chair. There's one in the middle of the floor that covers most of the space as well. And then in the tucked left corner, as you go in, because I would assume you guys make sure it's clear, is another desk at the foot of his bed, like a nightstand desk against that cornered wall. But intents and relatively bare, just a few furnishings here and there. Sorry, did I skip?
Yeah.
Relatively bare, but it's of what looks to be a fairly normal house. There's a table as well, if I didn't say so, in the close right corner where you could see a plate with crumbs on it where he might have eaten his last meal at. But he just sits in the chair and plucking away, and you see him sit forward. He goes, y'all make a lot of noise coming in here. And he puts the banjo on the bed.
Yeah, we're fitting to make a lot more.
I mean, I was just going to say we were going to talk, but you didn't want to help us out there, so that's kind of annoying.
No, I'm kind of keeping to myself. It's nice and quiet around these parts, and I typically try to keep it that way. And you see him take a pod out of his mouth. It looks like he was sucking on a vanilla bean pod, almost like you would a toothpick.
So, listen, we've been hired to bring you to justice.
See, that's a problem. I don't do well with the Justice Department.
While he's talking to him, I'm going to go back to the door and I'm going to say, "We've got this. Stay."
You see him sit, and his ears just kind of. He gives you a mild puppy dog look. It's like, no.
And then I'm going to say, again, guys, everybody, I repeat, we got this. Just hang out. And then I come back in.
Make a performance check or deception.
Both are going to be terrible. Deception.
Deception. Disgrace.
Which do you prefer? They're both the same.
Deception.
Okay. 11.
Okay. You say what you say.
Yep.
See if it takes. I don't do so well with the Justice Department. You know, they don't really get along so well with my constituents and my business practices.
Yes, I understand that. Hence why we've been hired to do such action. You're not a straight up intelligent fella, are you?
Well, I'm more intelligent than I might seem. You see, it's remarkable what you can get by trading with the next ruler of the world. I must say, from what I've heard, I'm making a much smaller mess of things than you lot.
When you say ruler of the world, you say... What do you mean by that?
That's Orcus. I figured you were smart enough to figure that one out. Pot calling the kettle black, I'd say.
Do I get any insight that maybe he knows about me?
You can roll an insight check to. Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, roll an insight check.
But he definitely knows about us.
That's 21.
He seems familiar with you generally. Just like you guys coming into the house.
Does it seem like he was expecting us?
Where's Tumbleweed?
Funny you should mention that. He's on an errand right now. Should be due back any moment. If you'd like to meet him.
That's perfect. We don't want to keep him waiting.
Oh, no, it's fine. It's fine. I mean, I'll just sit here and wait for him if you'd really like me to. It's my pleasure, in fact.
Actually, why don't you come with us?
I gotta tell you,
Meet us in town.
That must
the mustache is just fucking selling this.
I'm glad.
Oh man, it's so good.
You're welcome to try, but I must say you're gonna have a harder time than you realize. You know, let me give you another insight. Orcus has been 3 steps ahead of y'all this whole time. He watches you closely. Closer than you think, actually. He's told me things about you that you probably don't even know about yourselves. Not even your precious Paylor can stop his coming at this time. He will be on this plane. Might be time you switch sides, get smart.
While he's talking...
He's still sitting in his chair. The banjo's on the bed. You guys are about 20 feet from him.
While he's talking, I want to kind of flex my hand here. Does anything happen with the seal on my hand, with the mark on my hand? Is there anything different about it right now?
When you say it, I guess it depends. Are you starting to try and activate the magic within the glyph, or are you just trying to see if there's a reaction between him and the glyph? Or I guess both.
Both.
As you start to focus energy into the symbol of Orcus on your hand as you're flexing it, you can feel not only a pain in your palm, but it kind of goes down your forearm really slowly, all the way to your elbow, and starts coursing around your forearm and in your fingertips. And you can feel this little spike of pain in the back of your head, almost like a reverse brain freeze. Instead of it being all in the front of your head, it's all in the back of your head.
And that's from him.
That's from you activating the magic right now. He doesn't have any he can't see what you're doing. You're just doing this, and he doesn't seem threatened at the moment. He doesn't know what you're doing. You're just flexing your hand. And he seems pretty confident in his chair.
Why did you steal the airship?
Oh, the airship. Yeah, that was fun. I mean, the only reason I took the job in the first place was so that I could get my own ride. Turns out you need people who can fly to use it, though. I didn't make it last too long. Figured I could pillage the whole world. Guess I'm stuck on this continent for now.
What job did you take?
Job? No jobs. I'm just being me. Made a deal.
And what was this deal?
Oh, quite frankly, that's none of your business. That's between me and the Great One.
How did you meet him?
He came to me. Surprisingly so. I didn't realize I had such pull in the outer worlds. But I guess when you lot started causing trouble, he needed a few members on his team. So he came out to me. I'm quite flattered, I must say. But I guess he thought I was up to the task.
I mean, you know that he's like a god of death, right? Like,
Oh, sure, he explained a lot of what he was doing, and I actually have a pretty good makeout. I'll be able to have this whole half of the beach to myself and keep to my own wares. I really just got to keep you from continuing on. So, if you don't mind, maybe we can get this started before little tumbleweed gets here. And he reaches over for his banjo and he picks it up.
As he does that, because I've been waiting for him to pick it up, I'm gonna cast Warding Wind on myself.
Okay.
I'm gonna
So
fly.
this swirling wind starts picking up, and a couple of the pages from the bookshelves and some of the desks kind of pick up for a second. You know, is that a 10-foot radius around you?
Yes.
So Barrow and Amora, you feel this strong wind. It doesn't hurt you at all. Oh, what a good combination that is.
So,
I'm
we
Uh,
do-
nom, 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 nom.
Look what they're doing. Look at them. No? Okay, she ignored me.
Cool.
That's cool.
Just take a screenshot.
she ignored me.
Yes. Look what they're doing.
Oh, eating barbecue chips in front of you?
Yeah, with the hell of a good dip.
Mm.
I mean,
There was a family party today and there were leftovers, so.
Oh,
Okay.
that's like Kyle's favorite snack.
It is.
it's a great snack. We went through tubs of that stuff like from 2005 to 2007. It was just like all we ate. So that was like pretty much everything.
You graduated and like that was life.
It was.
Anytime we
It
had a
really was.
sleepover, we would like go get the biggest container, and this
Yeah.
is what we would eat during the sleepovers.
Kyle
So,
Kyle
was talking
sold
about
on
the
it.
tubs
Fall.
of like the Middlesworth. Like what happened to the tubs?
Yeah, somebody's petitioning to bring back the party tubs.
I hope so. Danny used to keep one of those in his car all the time.
Yeah.
Mickey and I used to eat
It
one of
is the
the
party
tubs
tap.
over at our house.
No, the Middlesworth tubs. They
Yeah,
used to-
the
Oh.
big circle tubs they had.
they were delicious.
Yeah.
Kyle was the one who sold us on it because we had these and we had this, but separate. And he was like, look,
That has been a staple combination for years. It's hilarious that you just like happened upon it because it's this glorious thing that we've all loved and cherished.
he was like, look, you like chocolate and you like peanut butter. They're good by themselves, but you put them together.
Right.
And I was like, all right, I'll try this. And I tried the first chip and I was like, holy.
I hate you, Kyle, because this is disgustingly good.
Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
back to the game. So you cast Warding Wind, Kyle, and this the wind picks up around you. How long does that last?
10 minutes.
You're gonna have this wind swirling around you the whole time. Then, it doesn't damage anybody, to my knowledge. It just prevents projectiles.
Disadvantage on projectiles, difficult terrain, hedges out vapor and gas, extinguishes unprotected flames, and deafens me and other creatures in the area.
Okay.
I'm on his shoulder.
Oh, deafens you and other creatures in the area. Smart. I like it. I like it. So right now, all you guys hear is this static wind sound in your ears as long as you remain in it. But he picks up the banjo and he sits down and says, I learned this tune a while ago. It's one of my personal favorites. And he starts playing the banjo. Let's roll initiative.
Atari goes on my initiative, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Familiars and pets will always take the same initiative as the owner in my campaign.
Fair.
We don't
Just easier.
our familiars telepathically, can we?
Yes.
All right. Well, I would have liked to have had one of the owls, like Kit, to go outside and warn me if something like.
Cool. We'll have him perch on the roof.
Yeah. So he's gonna watch to see if any figures start to come in.
Very good.
19.
Okay. Amora?
17.
Hadvar?
14.
And Vanilla Bean. Vanilla Bean. He's a mighty fine character. Barrow, you're up first. What would you like to do? As he picks up the banjo and starts to play the first notes.
And I can't hear anything.
Not yet. He's only just started to pick it up and he's about to start plucking.
But I mean, like, even when he was talking, I couldn't hear what he was saying because I was deafened. Yes?
None of you really heard the last thing that he said. That was more for flavor. But nobody can hear anything because you're deafened with this wind whipping. You guys are about. Let me get the map out because we're in combat. That's a thing we do. Let me take a quick pee break while you guys decide what you want to do.
Yeah.
The initiative order is Barrow, Mora, Hadvar, and then Vanilla Bean. So think about what you would like to do. Quick pee break. I will be right back.
Pee break. All right.
Yeah. All right. Just us, huh?
Yeah, I'm going to pee here in a second when she's done.
Oh, right. Shared bathroom. You are up first. We kind of want to wait for everyone to be here, though.
I'm trying to decide how I want to play this.
Why don't you think about it while you pee?
I'm just a bird on Hadvar's shoulder.
At the moment, you can drop it as a free action. This is what I have, though.
Quick question.
That's his house. That's all we got. We're in there.
But there is a doorway.
Yeah, it's right behind you, Amora. I don't have it marked here. I can just...
All right. Which one's the bean? Okay.
The Bean. Mr. Bean.
Yeah, it's Mr. Bean to you.
What race is this guy?
Hang on. Oh, gosh. Stand by. I'm having issues. Having issues. He's dwarven. Seems.
How buff does this guy look?
He's... I mean, all dwarves are thick. It doesn't look like he's muscle bound, but all dwarves are hardy. All dwarves have muscle mass. All dwarves have just a thick build to them. The only dwarf that you saw that wasn't like that was Minasara's friend from Craghammer that was helping you guys out. She was probably the most lithe and athletic and agile dwarf you've ever even heard of. She was almost built like a halfling as opposed to a dwarf. But she was just lean muscle and just like Olympic figure.
Okay. I'm going to take my turn and then I'm going to go pee.
Very good. Right now, you guys just kind of piled into the door. The door was smashed off the hinges, sitting on the back wall. You are all 15 feet from him or so.
I am going to cast Zephyr Strike.
Yep.
How far away am I from him?
15 feet. You move 10 feet forward, you'll be within 5 foot distance of him.
Okay. I'm going to cast Zephyr Strike.
Yes.
I'm going to run up to him.
Yes.
And I'm going to try and snatch the banjo out of his hands.
You run forward 5 feet and slam into an arcane wall. You don't take any damage. I won't do that. But as you run forward and put your hand out, it like crumples and you like get that feeling where you like stub your toe, but it's your fingers, and you crumple into this wall and you brace yourself. And 10 feet out from him is this. You see the impact, and all of you see this like ripple effect of light against this caged force of energy that seems to be containing the corner of his house.
Okay.
So that's your movement. That's your movement and your bonus.
Well, I still have more movement, right?
Oh, you have plenty of movement. Yeah, you only moved 5 out of your 60 feet or whatever it is.
I'm going to move back to the door that we were in. And I'm going to take out my ball bearings. And I'm going to throw them across the floor right in front of the door.
Oh, markers. So, did you turn around and throw them in front of the door, or did you go like, is the door in front of you and you scatter them in front of you? Or did you take a step back and just go, slap, and pour them behind you? I'll put them in front of the door. I just want to know where to put you.
I'm going to... Yes, I'm going to do this. I'm putting them right in the doorway.
Yep.
And I'm going to try and make it look, because this guy can't hear me, I'm going to make it look like I'm running to the door and calling for help. And then I'm just going to...
Okay.
Would you like me to do a performance check?
Nope. You do it. I'm not going to make you roll to do something that you can very easily do. Because
Well, I'm trying to sell to him that I'm calling for assistance
sure,
and not throwing ball bearings.
and not throw. Oh, help! And you're like scattering them. Yeah, make a sleight of hand check against his perception.
16.
16. Okay, so you do that. Roll percentage dice 5 times, please. I'll write the numbers down just to make sure.
It's nice knowing you, Barrow.
17,
Okay.
93,
Okay.
28,
Okay.
84.
Okay.
That's
Last one.
16.
Okay. As you go, help out the door, Scythe perks up and starts charging through the sand to the house.
Oh,
He takes 42 points of shrapnel damage as he charges through, throwing caution to the wind, trying to get to you with everything that he has.
Now, understand, I'm not yelling help. I'm making it look like I'm yelling for help. I specifically said that. I'm trying to make this asshole
Yeah.
think that I'm running to the door asking
yeah, but
for
Scythe
help.
probably sees you going like this anyway.
So you just go like this and just like throw ball bearings?
Yeah, I'm trying to make it look from his perspective.
That you went to the door and was like, ah.
And saying, hey, because I had already set up, there were other people out there.
I understand. You didn't say anything then?
No.
Right. So Scythe just stays there and he like perks up when he sees you come outside and you scatter ball bearings.
Okay.
Amora, it's your turn. Because he can hear you. The only people that can't hear is Hadvar and Amora in the wind.
How far in the wind can you not hear?
10 feet.
10 feet around me.
And he's how far?
15. Like the plate on the table behind you just kind of like scattered and it's all on the floor and it's kind of like flopping across the floor in this wind and papers are starting to swirl around Hadvar in this little wind tornado that he's got going on.
I don't know if this will pass through the barrier, but I will, as a free action, I cast dancing lights on him.
You drop your seagull form.
Yeah, I'm gonna drop my pigeon.
I'll put you in front of the fireplace and you cast dancing lights trying to see if it'll go through.
For the record,
Wait,
if
not
you
dancing
still
lights.
want Scythe to do that, I dig it. I'm cool with that.
No.
But
If
again,
you don't say anything, then I'm not going to have him move. Because if you called for help, then yes, he would have moved.
Fairy
All right.
fire.
The only things that the wind affect are the attack rolls of ranged weapon attacks.
Yep.
So it's not like magic attacks can go through it.
Okay.
Fairy fire.
You're going to cast Fairy Fire?
So I was gonna cast fairy fire in the corner of where he is. As a
You do the incantation for the spell and you release it and nothing happens. You see a sparkle of it on the outside of this shell and then it fades out. So you have a bonus action.
I'm gonna open the door behind me.
What
Isn't
door?
there a door behind? Oh, is that the outside door or is that the door?
There's one door that you all came in from that now has ball bearings all over the place.
Oh, I thought you walked in and there was another door like to the back.
Nope. There's a fireplace. There's a couple bookshelves.
There's a bookshelf behind me.
Yeah, you can move to it. There's 2 of them. And a desk in between them.
I'll look at the bookshelf and see if there's any magic I like.
You run over and start scanning the bookshelves. You used your action to cast Fairy Fire, so we'll say you get to the bookshelf and you're starting to look at the titles to see if there's anything there.
Yeah. I want to try to stay, if I can, within 10 feet of Hadvar, or is that not possible?
You're still within 10 feet of Hadvar. Yeah.
That's fine. Okay, I'm just gonna see if there's anything
You start scanning the books.
that'll be my next.
Hadvar.
All right. So I've seen the physical attack didn't go through. I saw the fairy fire didn't go through.
Correct. Make a history or arcana check.
That's going to be a 16.
You remember Captain Grayless, the wizard who started helping you out as an Eldritch Knight? He showed you a spell very similar to this, and you just can't remember what you need to do to get rid of it, but you have seen it before, called Wall of Force. So you are relatively familiar with the spell.
Is this something that we would have seen? Not
This is in
even,
his training.
not even back in Wizardton when certain big nasty
Different spells.
Okay.
Different spells.
Okay.
Those were divination based. The one that this is much more of an arcane based spell.
Okay. Oh no, I'm talking about
When Orcish?
when the big nasty dude and
Sent out the annihilation sphere, and then there was the two walls that came up to try and contain it.
correct, yes.
Different spells.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Those were visible walls. This is just like an invisible barrier that's giving you some semblance of like something's there every time you strike it.
Well, at this point, I'm just gonna try to activate my glyph and see if I can circumvent this wall. And see if this extra dimensional glyph that I have maybe
Okay.
has some connection to him.
Or
So
help me defeat your minion.
So this is, you're using the Mark of Orcus that you obtained through your last wish through the Arcanoloth.
Yeah.
Wait, your last wish or your?
No, the most recent.
You concentrate on it and the pain is almost unbearable. And right at the last second of this sharp pain in the back of your head, you feel like your ears are going to start bleeding. It's so bad. You release it forward and you see this thin line of smoke go straight through the wall of force. And you can see the whole wall kind of like flicker for a couple seconds as it tries to contain this spell. And as he's about to start playing, you see a look of great concern come over his face as he sees a visible piece of magic coming over and touch him on the forehead. His stats. Stand by. I have to make a DC 16 wisdom save.
I'm gonna write this down.
I rolled an 11, and he has a +4 to wisdom. It's 15. That does not succeed. As you see the Mark of Orcus take root in his mind, I need you to roll another percentage die, a D100, for utilizing this mark that the Arcanoloth gave you.
95.
Ooh,
Yeah,
almost.
95.
Almost. Roll 2d6 for me.
Damn. 10.
Your charisma score goes down by 10 until the end of the day.
Holy shit.
And roll one
think
more
I'm
d6.
dead.
Huh?
Doesn't that kill me?
No. What is your charisma score at?
7.
We'll say it's at 1. I'm not going to have it kill you. And roll one more d6, please.
Jesus. 1.
You can feel reality shift for a second in your eyes as you start to feel the walls close in on you, as reality starts to warp as you use this, and then they go back to normal. This very strange feeling of what have I done? And you looking around. It's almost like being on this weird acid mushroom trip of everything just start bending and moving and contorting in towards you for a second of claustrophobia, and then rotating itself back into place.
It's like Neo going.
It's
What?
stranger than that. Literally the wall kind of spirals hypnotically and pulls in towards him, and then spirals back into normalcy.
Do we see this at all, or is it?
You see him, and then him like start going like, what is happening? You see him like duck down and grab his head for a second. You see the line of black smoke connect with Vanilla Bean though, and you see. Is that your turn then? That's your action.
That would be my action. I guess,
He is permanently charmed.
what?
Oh,
Permanently charmed by Hadvar.
Holy shit!
Holy shit, indeed. Okay.
I missed my save by 1. It was a 16 save. I rolled an 11, and he has a +4 to his wisdom. I got 15 when I needed 16. So. Is that your turn, Hadvar?
Yeah. Jeez. Okay. Yeah. I
yeah.
guess that's. I guess I'm basically like. Just. Yeah. Okay.
You can drop your wind wall, or you can still have it up. You know for a fact that he's charmed. You feel that connection.
Yeah. I guess I drop it.
Okay.
Yeah.
That brings us to his turn. You see him sit there with the banjo as that touches his forehead, and you see that look of concern as it was snaking towards him, almost in disbelief. And as it touches him, you see him shake a little bit and drop his banjo. And just stare at the ceiling.
Are we still in initiative?
Nope. He's just sitting there in the chair, just staring at the
I'm
ceiling.
just gonna kind of like walk over and pick up the banjo and hand it to Barrow, but not taking my eyes off of.
Can I do a performance check to see if I can
No.
Yeah. Sure.
I was gonna cast Identify on it.
Nope.
What'd you get?
4.
You pluck the strings. You pluck a few of the strings, and it's just boom, beep, bom, boom, beep, boom, beep, bom, boom. You don't know how to play. It's just
I like
you're
turn
noodling
around,
around
like,
with the banjo.
Did you just make non-banjo noises out of a banjo?
Beep, bom, boom, beep, beep, bom, boom, womp, womp, womp. That's what a banjo does.
Bench
As you do that, Barrow, you can feel a magical aura coming off of the strings as you play it. You don't know what it means or what it does. This is a magical instrument.
Does it give me heebie-jeebies at all?
A little bit. It was not what you were expecting. It's like you plucked it a few times and you could feel a magical presence out of the notes you were playing.
This banjo is cursed.
So we're out of initiative, and Vanilla Bean is just sitting there.
And we've got no ping from my owl that something's coming.
I mean, do I sense that there's been like a definite change here?
Yeah,
I don't
there's
know.
a noticeable slack in his, like he had this like smarmy grin on the whole time, and he's very sure of himself, and he always has his lips curled up in a smile, and now it's just
Hadvar, what did you do?
Well, you see, I did I did the thing with the.
I mean, so I saw some shit from your hand go into his head.
Point of order before we continue. Hadvar, your personality isn't going to change when you lose these statistics. Even if it's your intelligence dropping, you're not going to lose your personality for the day loss of statistics. It's purely just for debilitating resource attempts. But
Okay,
that one,
so it's just gonna make my like persuasion and my performance.
all that
skills.
stuff is junk now. And like when you talk to people, they may not react with you in a positive manner ever, no matter what you say. Stuff like that.
Okay. All right. Cool. So I didn't have to.
This is
pretend to be,
not
like,
this is not
autistic
a
or
mental
something.
thing that's changed, but you feel like as you're speaking, you're normal. But Barry, you can see like for whatever reason, everything that Hadvar is saying has this like really irritating tone to it for no apparent reason. Like he's just being a dick for all out of nowhere. Just kind of has this like,
Okay.
the
Like-
1d6, the 1d6 that I had you roll separately that you rolled a 1 on. You now have a 25 insanity score. That d6 has dropped it to 24.
Oh shit.
I apologize. It was 15 down to 14, not 25 to 24. That is something else. Your sanity is at 14.
Okay.
Very good.
Don't know what that means, but okay.
Mhm.
All right. Well then, I guess I'm a dick right now.
Again, you don't have to act that way. It's just
Yeah.
yeah, NPCs may react with you a little differently now.
All right. So yeah. So you know that thing I told you guys about?
Yeah.
I used it for the first time. Actually, had no idea what it was gonna do. Apparently, it puts somebody under my permanent. Makes them my permanent friend.
That's kind of scary.
Yeah.
Also,
Nora, as you look past, are you still looking at the books?
I was, but now I'm like distracted now with.
Okay. Barrow, as you look past Hadvar and you see
Are
Oh,
you
jeez.
tired?
what happened.
sorry, that almost came out my nose because you're trying to set her up for something, and she's like, "Yeah, but now I'm distracted, not just like looking over here." And you're like, "Okay."
Okay. Barrow, as you look past Hadvar, you can see a little bit of drool coming out of Victor's mouth.
All right. I don't know if you realize this or not, but you're like kind of giving like an asshole-ish tone right now. I'm just trying to figure things out.
Yeah, I think using it might have had a side effect. I don't really know what happened.
Yeah, see, even like that, kind of coming off dickish. Whatever. Anyway, can you talk to this guy? Like,
Yeah, let me see what's going on with this guy. And I turn around like, hey, Beaner, what's up?
You're snapping in front of his face, and he's blinking and stuff, but there's like no reaction to you like snapping in his face or anything. He's just staring at the ceiling.
ask him what his agreement with Orcus was.
Yeah, what's your agreement with Orcus?
I don't have no agreements any longer. As he sits up, he just kind of slowly stands in front of you. He's about 4'1", just kind of stands there, and you see him like kind of swaying. My agreements.
Hey, drop the illusion in your front yard.
No, someone need that. We're right. Just like gibberish coming out of his mouth, but he's pointing at the banjo.
Barrow, let me see the banjo. And I take it. And like, I'm gonna put my hand on my shotgun.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna hand him his banjo with the shotgun, like just very, very much so ready to
he takes it and he plays a soft melody. Dum 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 dum. And he looks up at you and just holds the banjo around it. Like he put the strap on, he's just holding the banjo and looking at you.
I take the banjo back.
He
Give it back to Barrow.
I see everything is going well. I look back to the book.
Ask him what his agreement was. What
was your
his
agreement?
agreement?
agreements. No agreements. No agreements with Orcus. No more. Bad.
Huh. I look outside. Is everything gone? Can I see the field now?
You peek out the front door and you see like the whole front yard is just like pits of sand and shrapnel and like black marks on the sand, and it's what it should have looked like when there were explosions going off. Big divots in the sand. You can see a lot of mines that have exposed themselves because of the explosions nearby, and you can see the straight path in which Barrow was dragged through is clear.
Okay. Listen.
If I
We've got-
I see that, I'm gonna call Syph over to us.
And he perks up and bounds his way over through and like walks into the house and starts sniffing everything and just
Listen, guys. I don't see why we need to stay here any longer. I don't want to wait for this tumbleweed guy.
Yeah, but isn't the reward for the tumbleweed guy?
No,
As well?
it's Vanilla Bean.
No, we're
Factory.
just. I mean, yeah. I think there probably was,
Why
but
don't you ask him where he is?
Wait, can you take a look at this real quick? Because there's like some sort of magical energy on it.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to like take you away from your books.
All right. Cast identify on it.
are you gonna do a ritual or are you just gonna do a quick one?
Oh, I have to do a ritual.
Oh, you have to. It's in your ritual book. Very good. All right, so
While she's doing that, can I do an investigation check on the books that are in the bookshelf that she was looking at?
so much for that. Amora was spending so much time around these books. Yeah, you can do that. Roll an investigation.
Natural 20.
Natural 20.
Well, it worked out, I guess. While you're looking, we'll get back to that. Hadvar, is there anything else you want to interact with?
Yeah. I mean, I'd like to ask about Tumbleweed. What is he? I want to find out more about the Tumbleweed thing. I know he's not going to give me a coherent answer, but
There's a friend making delivery in the ocean. Mer people.
wait.
What?
Did you actually not hear anything?
I
No,
No,
got
I heard you.
delivery.
I'm sorry. Hadvar had like an epiphany.
Wait. Mer people or mer folk?
Just same.
Like the Jared Thrush guy.
Jared, no. Jared's not Mer. No. Jared's Triton.
Oh. I don't know.
Weird fellow.
What was he doing for you?
Brought me some supplies.
Where are
Business. Downstairs. And he turns around and moves the chair and pulls that elaborate rug that was next to his bed away. And you see there's like a trap door that
What's
he.
Black Stone, take us to it.
Oh, I'm sorry, huh?
The Black Stone. It was in a crate.
It wasn't his.
Not familiar. I'll show you what I have. And he opens the trap door and there's like a ladder that goes into the sand. You see like there it's like structured sand walls, but you can see that it is contained in a way that it's relatively safe. There's wooden beams that support this ladder that go down, and you can follow him down, but he's going to start making his way down otherwise.
Yeah, I guess we could go check this out.
So if you all file down after Barrow, you find no books of any magical significance. You find a lot of books relating to the use of magic to sustain life, the use of magic to extend life, and the use of magic to enthrall and control others, all through music.
Okay. How many books are on those subjects?
I'd say maybe like four books on those specifically. Everything else is just kind of like random literature, poetry, or music books of any kind, like sheet music and stuff. But there's a few that you're able to find with the natural 20 that there are some specifically to utilize music and magic together interspersed to be able to control, extend, and end life.
I'm going to take all 4 of those
Okay,
and put them on my back.
sure. And you all go downstairs. Beneath his house is this just as big as the upstairs, 40-foot long, 20-foot wide space where in the far corner where the fireplace was, there's actually a continuation of the chimney to a furnace. Next to the furnace is an anvil. And next to the anvil and the forge and everything that he would have there for making metallic instruments, he has what looks to be an alchemical set. And on the right wall, he has what looks to be dried herbs and a lot of just like things hanging from the ceiling throughout the entirety of this whole place of all these dried leaves. And as you go down there, there's this really offensive, oppressive odor that makes your eyes water. It's almost burning a little bit, like your nasal, as you breathe in through your nose, it kind of like burns the inside of your nose. And you all start to feel a little lightheaded, but it's not enough to cause a large amount of concern. But there's a natural effect with this odor that's kind of making your equilibrium kind of shift ever so slightly.
Huh.
Is this anything that I would have ever encountered before?
What is your background?
You were military.
Outlander.
You were.
Outlander. Hadvar, you're soldier.
Yeah.
Amora, you were
Urchin.
urchin. Amora, you would recognize some of this stuff. Being an urchin, you had some interaction with the underground standby. Yes, hello, I love you. We're still playing though. Oh, yeah, I thought you would text me. I figured you'd be busy hanging out with Brett and stuff, but yeah, I've just been chilling, just hanging out. We're playing D&D at the moment. Everything is fine. Very good. I'll be here. Love you. Bye. You know that some criminal syndicates had a much less ornate setup for the creation of drugs.
Oh, this is some Breaking Bad shit in here, huh?
More or less, but like medieval.
Yeah, I don't really need to be associated with this. I'm not.
You're good. Head back up.
Were you making anything for Orcus?
Yeah, there was a few things he was having brought to me. Thrush, much more of a pawn than he realizes. You start to see a little of his personality start to come back now that the effects are starting to kind of mellow out, by the way. He's starting to kind of readjust.
That gets my attention, and I kind of just like, ooh.
Yes. He's bringing me supplies. I was gonna start making these chemicals, and he points over at like the dried stuff on the ceiling and the like Bunsen burners, and you see like tubes and bubbling liquids and stuff. Couple doses of this, people will do whatever you tell them to for a while.
How long is a while?
About an hour at a time. Any stronger than that, they'll probably die. Potent stuff. Yeah, I was working on it for a while. Again, he gave me the supplies to try and create something. He knew I had the hand in this, and the little magic touch, you can actually get it to be pretty on the nose.
How
Why
much of
would-
that do you have?
Last shipment just went out, and I have to make a whole new batch. Usually takes me about a month per batch. You get a crate of them, you get about 10 doses a crate.
And where did the last shipment go?
That's with little Tumbleweed. He just took it to the mer people.
What do the mer people need with it?
That I don't know. I'm just piecing the machine.
Huh.
And sorry, it's Victor, right?
He kind of like, sure, if that's what your fancy. Victor's fine.
Do you prefer the vanilla bean?
Just vanilla's fine.
All right. Vanilla. Remind me again what your agreement was with Orcus.
Oh, yeah. I come down here, I steal supplies sometimes, I create these things, we have them shipped out, and one by one we have them cater to what he was asking us to do. It sounds crazy, I know, but once we had him under our spell, so to say, he would be able to turn them undead, and I'd be able to have control of them momentarily until his return, and then he would have control over them.
How many people do you have control of?
Oh, personally, none. Just Tumbleweed for the moment. But yeah, he was gonna give me a nice piece of land out here on the beach, and I was gonna pretty much keep to myself as long as I helped him out. Got rid of you guys, but you're not so bad anymore now that I see that. I might have been on the wrong team. I apologize for what I had said before.
Question. You said earlier Orcus was keeping tabs on us. How is he doing that?
No, he's a demon lord. He can do whatever he wants. But the things he was telling me made it sound like he was walking with you through the living forest. It sounded like you had a nice little adventure. You took out one of his dragons before that. It's impressive stuff. I thought I was in pretty deep, but with the enchantments I had set up upstairs, I thought I'd have to fight you for days. It's a good thing that I realized you people are all right.
Wait a second. What was the last thing he told you about us?
Oh, the last thing you guys did was get in a bit of trouble in Craghammer from the sound of it. Destroyed a whole mine. He almost didn't have to do nothing in that regard. He had a lot planned for that city, but what you did was almost better than what he had planned. So
When did you lose Titan?
After the whole thing in Craghammer.
I don't follow. What's a Titan?
Don't.
That
don't-
doesn't make sense.
All
Well,
right, suit
we al-
yourself.
we also lost 2 other people after Craghammer.
Well, and we lost Segura after that too.
Oh shit.
Sounds like you guys have a hard time making friends. Hopefully, I can be of some service. You know, I'm kind of in a pickle here, going to playing both sides against the middle. I feel like I'm kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. You mind if I tag along for a while and maybe get out of here? I don't know if I'm gonna be too safe on my own anymore. If I'm gonna be disobeying a head honcho of the abyss. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What
I'm
is
gonna
tumbleweed?
I'm gonna look at Barrow, kind of give him the whole eyebrow.
I need to talk to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let
Yeah.
me answer his question. Tumbleweed, oh, he's a strange creature. It's actually someone that Orcus sent to me to save me when I first took a little splash in the ocean when I first stole that boat. Made sure I survived.
Did you
You
know?
see, Orcus has been planning his return for over a year now, and I was one of the first players. And when he realized that you folks were meddling, he put me on a different path to try and stop you.
Did you know Orcus before you stole the ship?
Yeah, yeah.
So
Okay.
It was around now. He's told me what he's been doing in Wizardton, which is actually pretty impressive. He is quite powerful. I had no idea until he started explaining the ins and outs of his plans. I don't know all of them, but it's pretty interesting. I stole the ship the same time that he put that castle in the sky.
Okay, I'm gonna go into Hadvar's mind. Yeah, what's up?
Hey, we can't take him back.
We can't leave him here.
And
I
no,
think
I'm saying we can't turn him over.
we can't what?
We can't turn him over.
No. No. Also, I think we need to get the hell out of here, like now, before whatever that tumbleweed thing is comes back.
Yeah, here. Hold on. Let me find something. Hey, Tumbleweed. So if he works for you or for Orcus?
I mean, he works with me. Orcus kind of told him to do what I tell him to. Not sure how he'll feel about me switching sides, though.
All right. This is what. When do you expect him back?
Oh, let's go back upstairs. I'm gonna have to look at the sun for a second. As long as you're not gonna prevent his movement, he's gonna climb upstairs and walk outside.
One thing, Vanilla.
Yep.
Where? So you don't have any of the stuff left that allows you to control people for an hour.
I mean, I could make some. Might take me a week or two, but the last of that stuff went out with Tumble. He should be back. I can check to see when he's getting back. Give me a moment. I'll be right back. And he just.
I'm gonna follow him up.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna follow up.
if I want to look at the stuff downstairs, because
Sure.
are any of this? So is this?
How much of it do you eat?
What?
Let's cut to the chase.
I just want to know is any of this stuff that I know of illegal? Like if I would have any of this in my possession.
All of it is illegal.
Okay.
Every last bit.
Pretty much. I mean, the forge itself is not illegal, but it's what it is being used for is illegal.
Did I ping anything off of the banjo when I identified it?
Hang on, everybody froze for a second. Did you ping anything off the?
I casted identify on the banjo. I can wait.
That's fine. I'm gonna send you a list of what that is. It's a weapon. It's a
Alright.
magical weapon that has a lot of different properties. I will go through my notes, text it in the group chat so that we can all see what the banjo does. Yes, good.
That's all. I'll go up.
All right, so we all go up. And he looks at. I should be back in the next 2 to 3 hours. He was supposed to be done around sundown. We're just about there, so
All
should
right.
be on the way back.
I have
It's a bit of a swim, so he's got to make that journey, and takes a while.
I have a win-win situation here. It's gonna keep Orcus off your back for at least a little bit.
That sounds good. I'm listening.
So I'm gonna relay to him all the information about the stone,
But
the stone of power, the. I keep wanting to say the Tabaxi Power Stone, the Tabaxi Stone.
okay, the Tabaxi stones as a whole.
Yeah, and specifically the blue one that I'm looking for.
Yeah,
in
the
the water.
space stone. Space.
Yeah, the space stone. And the plan is to get Tumbleweed to retrieve it and bring it back to him.
Ooh.
Yeah, I don't know if Tumbleweed's gonna go for that any longer. I feel like he may not be so friendly on his journey back. You see, he's not as dumb as most people believe. Now he only barks like a dog because that's all he can produce. But he's not as unintelligent as many believe him to be. If he knows I switch sides, we're probably gonna have to kill him.
Well, no, we leave, and you set everything back up the way normally, and
Oh, I see. You want me to trick him into getting this stone, yeah?
yes,
I've never heard of this stone before. I'm not sure exactly what you're talking about. I mean, it sounds like a nice story and everything, but I never really even dealt with the whole deity or pantheons or demon lords until Orcus got a hold of me.
well,
I'm not exactly sure where we'd be going or where it is. Now, you don't know where it is neither, yeah?
it's in a temple under the water.
Interesting. The Mer people don't necessarily have no temples. They got a city down there. I'd assume, based on something like that, my reading would tell me maybe it'd be in a ruin of some kind underwater, but I'm not familiar enough with anything like that to know where to go.
That was worth a shot. Well, in that case, let's tear
I
this
just don't
place
feel
up and make it
comfortable
look like
being
you're dead.
here any longer than I have to. We could just grab a few things of mine and hit the dusty trail. I'd be much obliged.
Yeah, I guess that's if everybody else is down for that. Do we want to make it look like it was a struggle, or do we want to make it look like you left on your own?
I mean, you kind of tore my house apart with that wind stuff you had going on. We can flip the bed if you feel like it.
Yeah. I'm gonna spend the next you know how I always mend things. I'm gonna do the opposite.
Yeah.
Just take your longsword and just start smashing things. So this is the first time that you actually use like a strength weapon since you've had the belt, and you take the sword and you just want to like hit the bed, and it severs it in two as you come down with it. Just boom, it goes straight through the wood, and the whole bed just goes.
Yeah.
And you chop some of the bookshelves, and you punch a hole in the wall, and you rough the place up a bit.
Perfect.
Vanilla. Did
yeah.
you get the banjo from Orcus?
No, that's a special treat of my own. I do a little research on my own. Probably why Orcus even reached out to me. It's a pretty unique skill set that I got. You mind if I have it back, by the way? It's kind of important to me. I don't feel all that great without it.
We're gonna hang on to it for right now.
That's fine. I understand. Just won't be much help without it, just so you know. It's where I get all my tricks from.
So I'm gonna tap into Hadvar. We need to see how much he knows of Orcus's plans in Wizardton and like everywhere in Greyek.
Yeah.
Y'all got real quiet. You know, he's pointing at Havar, talking to you, Bears. He's got some blood running all over his face. I could patch him up if you just let me play him a quick tune. Fix him right up.
Yeah, I'm pretty confident that he's not gonna do me any harm. I say that right, Anthony. Like I can.
Oh,
feel-
you can roll an insight check. You don't even have to. He's permanently charmed by you.
Okay. Yeah.
And he cannot hurt you.
Yeah. I'm very confident.
He much obliged. He puts it on. And as he's playing, you can see this like soft green mist come off of the hole. Well, there's no hole, but off like where a hole in the guitar would be for a banjo. you see it kind of emanate off the strings, and it's kind of like wafts its way. And Hadvar, it's kind of like floating in a direction, and it just kind of, well, like a jellyfish almost, just kind of like sponges your face. And as he's doing that, you can see a lot of the wounds close as he's playing, and you see this little weird green mist acting like a jellyfish, just kind of touching Hadvar and just kind of slowly healing him. Hadvar, you get, I have to roll for this spell. Ooh, nice. You get 23 points of healing. Not a bad roll.
Not a bad roll at all. That puts me back to my very first blast to the face. So,
Okay, there you go.
cool.
I think, and I'm saying this telepathically.
Sure.
I think that we need to go like now,
Yeah.
so that we
Yeah.
put enough time and distance between us and this thing. We need to find out what he knows about Orcus's plans.
Yeah, but we're also in a situation where we have him, but we also need him to get the airships.
Yeah.
As you guys are walking away from the house, he's just kind of humming and playing the banjo. I have a whole like mess of lyrics that he was gonna sing as far as like attacks against you. I didn't expect this to happen. So he sings something. I don't have anything written down. I have like 8 different songs that he was gonna sing as like little bardic lyrics against you guys. He sings something, and you all heal 12 hit points for whoever needs it.
Oh,
I'm
And
back.
casts Prayer of Healing.
Anthony, we're so sorry for destroying your character.
You didn't destroy anybody. You got a new ally. Are you kidding?
Yeah, now Anthony gets to play as the
Now I
dog.
get to be Vanilla Bean for like the rest of the game. Really, he doesn't want to stay here. He doesn't want to, you know.
We can't.
It's gonna be really weird when he gets to Wizardton. If he gets to Wizardton, to go from Vanilla Bean to Captain Hammerthorn to Phineas, and like have them 3 have a conversation with each other and all this weird. I don't know how. It'll be weird. I don't know. My accents are gonna get so mixed up. It's gonna be strange.
You need to record like a soundtrack of
I
like
should.
phrases.
I should just play them. Just have a whole soundboard.
Yes.
That'd
So
be
that way you can.
Vanilla. Before we take off here,
Oh yeah.
is there anything useful that we should maybe take with us in the house? Any magical items? Or...
Oh, I got a few trinkets in my bag here. You saw him like pick up a few things out of like drawers. He had to unlock the desk near his bed, and he got a few baubles out that he put into his bag. And I got everything that I need for the ride. Not much use to many other people, you know. Stuff that I made myself.
Okay.
A few surprises for the road, if you know what I mean.
I'm excited.
All right. Well,
Um,
yeah, this has been eye-opening.
So you guys make your way
I mean,
Yeah.
downtown.
back to Dry Gulch.
Well, we don't want to turn him in. I mean,
You tell me what you're doing.
Listen, hey, so
Wherever
we're
you're going, that's going to be the last thing. We're going to end the session on that note. So if you want to head back to Dry Gulch, we can just say you're walking in that direction for now.
yeah, I'd say we need to walk in that direction at the very least, because didn't we have at least enough money to rent
To charter the ship.
the charter the ship? We had enough money to do that.
Do you?
I thought we did.
I don't
Between
know.
the 3 of us.
yeah, it was 100. It was 100 gold.
I can tell you how much they're asking for. You can tell me if you have enough.
How many of
Well,
us?
I have 1,000 platinum pieces myself.
I was thinking. Here's what I was thinking about doing. I
Which
know
is
that
10,000 gold.
I know that lady was the herb lady. I was thinking about casting sending and asking her if there's stuff that she needs. Like, hey,
Oh
because that was my plan. If they weren't illegal, I was just
no, that's all illegal stuff. I mean, he has all of the vanilla pods on the outside.
yeah. So
If you want to like scavenge vanilla, he took a bunch of those, by the way. And you see, like as he's picking them, I apologize because that was a big moment for him. He's picking a lot of them off the outside as he's gathering his stuff. And every once in a while, when he finds like a short one, he'll kind of look at it and go, nah. And he'll just like bite into it and like strip it with his teeth and chew it almost like tobacco
oh.
and just throw the pod away.
So
But like a lot of the pods that he's taking off are like this big, and they look like not string beans, but they're weird. They're pretty thin. They're about this long, and they have like a small curve to them, and they're black.
Huh.
Vanilla. It's a vanilla bean.
Yeah.
Picking vanilla beans.
if I can, I would like to cast sending to that lady and
Sure.
just let her know that we came into contact with some illegal herbs. I know that you are in the market for things. Can you use this?
There's a pause. She kind of whispers. Are you a cop? Who
No,
is this?
no, I'm the
So you
drow.
cast it a second time?
Yes, I'm gonna cast it a second time and say this is the drow. And we're there. My poor friend destroyed your shop.
Nope.
That was Sim Sim.
Yep. Different person. Sim Sim. Very Sim Sim.
Oh,
Very good. Very Sim Sim. Very Sim Sim. You destroyed my shop. Very Sim Sim. Very bad. Very bad.
I'm taking the vanilla bastard to Sim Sim shop, and I want to have them two have a conversation.
Just so they can talk to each other.
You're interested in learning
Creeping me out.
how to make potions, and I thought you would be interested.
I don't know. Nothing illegal. No. Just kind of concerned that you would like be trying to sell her drugs. She's like,
That's all.
you get a vibe that she's like, you really weirded her out.
Like
This is
somebody
what you did.
normally is
Just
okay
her
with
drugs.
drugs, but then you're like, "Hey, you want to buy some illegal drugs?" And they're like, I think pass."
Yeah.
Tell it.
So, Vanilla, you said it would take you how long to make one of those potions that would be able to control people?
Well, you don't really make them one at a time. See, you got to make it all at once. The ingredients can't really be interspersed with different amounts. Otherwise, you get some drastically poor reactions out of the chemicals you use. So once you have the right balances and the right amounts, and you burn them at the right temperatures and you mix them at the right times, you got to ferment them. Takes me a few weeks to make a nice batch of them.
But you would need all the equipment that you have downstairs.
Yeah, I would. The alchemical set and the furnace, ideally.
Okay.
What's the bare minimum?
We need to go.
Yeah. Okay. So that's
I figured you guys have been on the road, and like
yeah.
there's this weird like time morphing thing of like, wait, I wanted to ask him this question, but we're already,
The Jeremy Bearimy.
yeah, it's
All
like
right.
a John Malkovich movie.
Okay. Yes, I think we should head back that way because we're gonna have to go there regardless. I am doing my best to walk behind the group and cover our tracks as we're going.
Make a general survival check.
Advar, press the digitate the sand.
Oh yeah,
Press
I
the
did with
digitate.
yeah, I'm gonna prestidigitate.
That means for every 5 feet you go, you would have to spend 6 seconds there. That would take you like a year to get back to Dry Gulch.
Ooh.
Survival.
I just wanted to make sure that I did not have advantage.
This is beach is not favored terrain, as far as I know.
Okay.
Wait, is it not?
Damn.
15.
You cover a large portion of your tracks. You know that there's, with the 5 of you now, all walking and moving around, having a shift here and there. You cover large chunks of your tracks to hopefully deter anyone from being able to follow.
Can we not walk like Tuscan Raiders?
No.
And people
But here's
to
so,
hide our numbers.
so we have to have a charter to go back, don't we? Because aren't we like on a beach somewhere? So we're gonna have to have some sort of.
You can walk it. You saw land the whole time that you were with Thrush. It just was faster to be on the ship.
Yeah, we'll walk it.
So we'll leave off there. You guys are walking back with a new friend.
This is so weird.
Hey
Yeah.
guys, just an idea. I mean, he already knows how to hijack these things.
The thought.
No.
I'd
thought-
rather do it before you were an asshole.
I was just, I was thinking we could have him make a batch of this stuff and just use it on the twins.
Oh, that's another thought.
I'm just saying.
You also have enough gold to charter the ship over, but one ship was persuasioned down to 10,000 gold. These are big ships too. I mean, this is not a rowboat. These are large, like 4-decked ships that have no need for space to be in the bottom. The whole thing can be filled up. So more than likely you should be able to get a lot of people on one boat to be able to get it up to the castle.
My whole thing is, like, if the ends justify the means here and we're able to get it over there, why wouldn't we?
I mean, that's chaotic good in and of itself, and I mean, Hadvar started off as lawful good, but that's not really the
You
case.
definitely,
Yeah.
you left that path a long time ago.
See, and like
You know what?
Barrett's just like completely chaotic neutral. Whatever gets the job done and is going to make it easiest on me.
The
I
more
think
I'm
that's
like,
just my personal play style. I think I have a very hard time staying lawful.
Sure, makes sense. I mean, Aodar is lawful good, but he's a dick, and he's like super arrogant. But like he always follows the rules, and like make sure he never gets in trouble. Like the first thing that he's done that was like outside of his comfort zone was breaking into that church for this last mission, and he was like super apprehensive about it because Sid was like, "You guys got to get in here. Are you effing kidding me?" And Adar's like, "We'll figure out something. We can't break in until." Ashton was like, "Yeah, we have to go. We're going now."
yeah,
He
and
really
me-
had to be pushed to go in that direction.
yeah, and there's me and somebody else that are on the side of the church stuck.
Me,
That's you and Erdor.
yeah, I bamped up to the windowsill and I'm like about to climb through.
We need
Yeah, it's Sid and
Toa,
Caleb's.
Toa
Yeah,
Zoa.
Toa. Inside.
So yeah, you have enough to charter the ship. It's just a matter of like figuring out what the heck you guys are going to do once you're back, because people know who this guy is. And he doesn't have a great reputation. So the banjo has several magical effects. The banjo itself is not cursed. It is essentially a level 3 wizard with all of its own spells and spell slots. The spell slots are utilized by playing the banjo and successfully passing performance checks. If Victor Bean plays the banjo, he doesn't have to make any checks because it's his creation. He knows how to play it. He's an accomplished musician. But essentially, him as a bard, he has his spell slots, and then he can utilize the banjo's magic for a plethora of other spells.
Huh.
Wow.
Phew.
A very powerful magic item that I created. So, yeah, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool.
I like it.
It is also because at third level a wizard can pick a subclass. It is a abjuration banjo. So it gets all the perks of having an abjuration wizard.
Is it a sentient item?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. Solely of his creation.
Neat.
Yeah. But I will get you those spells unless you just want him to use it, and then he can surprise you with whatever it does.
Yeah, I'm cool with being surprised.
He's a bard, so he's a buff class. He has a lot of really weird stuff. Actually, I can send you guys like pictures of what his stats are and everything. He's a level 11 bard.
Oh shit. Cool.
I'll just go down his spells that I gave him. Friends, Mage Hand, Minor Illusion, Vicious Mockery. That was cantrips. First level. Bane, Charm Person, Dissonant Whispers, Tasha's Hideous Laughter. Second level. Blindness, Deafness, Crown of Madness, and Suggestion. Third level. Fear, Major Image and Sending. Fourth level. Compulsion, Dimension Door and Polymorph. Fifth level. Animate Objects, plural. Gaius. Sixth level. Otto's Irresistible Dance.
Yes.
Those are his spells. I will send you I'll just have the banjo do its thing whenever I need it to, because it'll be fun that way.
So we need to.
Man, that was freaking clutch.
Uh,
That was going to be a bitch of a fight.
Yep. Because he's behind that force wall that lasts for 10 minutes. The only thing that can take it down is a disintegration ray. So you would have been stuck in that. If you would have stayed there, you would have been stuck in there with him, just playing with your minds, playing the banjo, having you guys attack each other.
Was that a Vox Machina thing?
What?
The wall of force? Did the one tiefling chick in the Slayer's take use that?
Oh, she might have. Yeah, she might have.
I thought it sounded really familiar.
She might have used that. I've always liked Wall of Force because when I read the spell, I was like, oh, this is dope. Literally nothing beats it. You have to use, Dispel Magic doesn't work against it. You have to use Disintegration Ray. It's the only thing that gets rid of it. Or a Wish spell.
was to cast Misty Step to appear in the room next to him.
You can't,
No.
nothing goes through it. Nothing goes through it. And all of his spells are targets you can see. So it would have just happened because you can hear him playing the banjo. The only thing that would have been different is the warding wind or whatever it is. But then I was just going to use like Crown of Madness to make you guys attack each other and do all sorts of horrible things.
Yeah, we
Wow.
need to conceal him. We need to
Well,
make
he
him
knows
look like
polymorph, so he can polymorph himself into something and just.
Polymorph lasts an hour, so if you guys think you can get it done in an hour, if you guys have disguise kits, that's an option.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to probably go into Dry Gulch.
No, I'd say we
You
can
know,
leave him outside and then pick him up.
his banjo has a few things that might be able to help.
So that's what we need to. If we're truly going in there, we will absolutely have to ask him if he can disguise himself to get
I may change now that he's not an enemy, now that he's a friendly. I may change all of his spells and just make him a little different. I may multi-class him just for the fun of it. I'll noodle around with him. If you guys plan on keeping him around, I'll make him a little more feasible for the group.
If we're planning on trying to keep him as a helpful character, then we have to go to Dry Gulch. We have to do stuff there. But if he's gonna be there, we can't have him looking like that, or we can't have him around.
Well, we'll think about it.
Yeah, that's but
We'll think
We've
about
got a long trip back.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because like when I took all of his feat or ability score improvements, I just did ability scores and I tried to bump all his stats up just to make him harder. So if I'm gonna recreate him, I may take a bunch of feats to make him more player oriented as opposed to NPC oriented.
I'm
And
really.
then I'll just play Vanilla Bean with you guys.
Nice.
And you can sing to Orcus.
Yeah. Jun, 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 jun. Your
You
time
could be
is
half
done.
Tenacious D versus the devil.
Vanilla went down to Georgia. He was looking for a group to steal.
Hey.
Yeah.
Have more fun with this.
I didn't expect him to last. He has 1 hit point, by the way. If you would have hit him, he would have died. So that'll be something that I change as well.
He had 1 hit point.
1 hit point. So that way, if you guys did any attack, it would have immediately killed him. That was another caveat to this whole thing. Like, he was super powerful, but he's just a dude that got all this stuff from Orcus. So he wasn't like an adventurer. He was just a regular guy. So he had 1 hit point. So if like Barrow, if you would have hit him with your sword, like minimum damage, you do 5 damage minimum. So he would have died outright. You would have killed him irreparably. So that will change. So he's not worthless.
Ugh.
Yeah. Because depending on how you guys handled this, if you guys did get into this altercation with him and like didn't find a way to subdue him, I wanted the consequence of fighting him to be severe enough that he's gone, he's dead. He would bring his dead body back, or just the banjo, or whatever the case would have been. But that was not meant to be an easy encounter.
Sorry.
No, listen, I gave you that. That was another thing that I created. It allows you, and now that you know what it does, if I don't succeed, I am permanently charmed by you, as long as it is a member of Orcus or his whoever follows him. You will sustain the sanity points, and then whatever ability score you roll the 2d6 on, that's going to drop for that day. Which, as a note, you guys could probably take a long rest as well halfway there, just to recoup. So if you guys want to do long rests on your characters, that's fine.
And that's going to reset my charisma back to
Yes.
shit.
And the insanity thing is, I don't.
That's permanent. Your sanity points are permanent. You're stuck at 20, or you're stuck at 14 now.
So wait, where are we starting at?
You started at 15,
Oh, I got you.
and you rolled a 1, so you lost 1 sanity point.
You specifically have 14 sanity points.
I didn't know if there was a D&D thing. So I'm like, wait a minute.
We good.
Using
know what?
using the mark also has consequence. You got it from an Arcanoloth, and a pit fiend, brandished you, so it's
I'm
not
just gonna
gonna
go
be
ahead
all-
and change my alignment to chaotic good.
I don't even know what to call you. Because you're still restrained enough.
Yeah.
But like the decisions you make are ridiculous. I almost want to say, like, I hate lumping all the characters as chaotic neutral because they make good and bad decisions, but it's fitting for the way a lot of people play.
Like, the thing is, I think the biggest thing here is that this is a journey for Hadvar. Like, his character is still developing.
You went through a lot. You were very secure within the Open Palm. You had a structured life. You had a very and like you went on adventures with the Shadow Vein all the time, and like you were the captain, you were their leader, you had a lot of structure and normalcy for a long time. And as soon as you got into Ex Nobis, a lot of these moral quandaries started coming up. A lot of these really harsh changes. I mean, you lost your identity, you regained your identity, then you had another thing where you were a part of a horrible experience. You know, it's just this roller coaster ride of this woven web of wherever you're going. I don't know. That's up to you guys.
I think so. I think a lot of people when they have this like alignment and background and everything, they're like, my character's already made and this is how I have to play it. But I feel like Hadvar, he's still being made.
I like that. And it's
Like-
because it's outside of your comfort zone. You've never tried a really good, you know, Mary Sue character
Yeah.
before. So it was interesting to see you sit in that role for a little bit and then start to tip the glass.
Yeah,
The character that I have,
definitely
the monk Captain America build that I have for who's ever Brandon's, whenever you're gonna do that, I have an idea of how he's gonna be, but I don't know how that's gonna play out depending on who else is in the group. I have him listed as lawful neutral, where like he's very unfeeling. He just does what you're supposed to do. He's a city guard. So that's a conversation that obviously we'll have whenever you're much further down the road and building your campaign. But like that's his background, city guard. He's one of like the people that want to keep the world safe. So he got a job as a police officer, kind of a deal. You know what I mean? So, but it's going to be weird because once you go out on adventures and you do have these moral issues and you do have these like interactions with NPCs that are going to either tug at heartstrings or really like poke the bear and instigate, in the moment, your characters are going to do something completely random most of the time, and it changes the character like any good show or movie. It should evolve. It should not be stagnant. That's a boring game. No game should be stagnant.
Exactly. Speaking of which, I think Brandon and I already kind of had that conversation that I think I would like to kind of let go of the reins of being a DM because I've been doing it so much and kind of
Just want to play.
Brandon, take the lead.
basically.
Yeah.
See, I've been wanting to play as Damian Rand for so long.
Is that
Yeah,
Robin?
so Damian Rand is a rogue that I've been wanting to play. He
Oh.
is.
I thought you were talking about the Iron Fist for
That's
a
what
second.
I said. That's what I thought. Man, Danny
Oh.
Rand.
No,
Yeah.
oh, I'm sorry. So Damian Rand is the name I give all of my rogues that I've played for all of the one shots that I've done.
Oh, interesting.
So, and the only thing I do is I change the spelling of his first name for all the different iterations. So,
Yeah.
like the assassin is spelled one way, the multiclasser is spelled another one.
Fun.
My favorite one though is the arcane trickster Damian Rand.